Willie D Live.
What's up, family? If it's your first time checking out the show, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're already outside of the U.S., let me know what country you represent. Throw up your flag. Family, I need you to smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. Also, if you have not done so already on YouTube, after you subscribe, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you be in the loop. I'm going in, fam. So it's been about a month now since Nolan Wells' body was found near Mississippi's Horn Island on July 6th. And there have been no arrests despite growing public scrutiny and ongoing questions about the investigation. Today, we're joined with former Mississippi Judge Carlos Moore to discuss whether the publicly known evidence could already support criminal charges. That a good man is right there. Judge, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you, man?
Oh, man, I can't call it. I might stall it. Let's get to it. You spoke on this case. I think the first time I heard you say something about it, I think it would have been around like the first, maybe the second week. No, it was the first. It was within the first week of the case, I believe, that you spoke about it, and you came from a very interesting perspective because you are a former Mississippi judge, so you know the terrain, you know the people, you know the system. So when you look at this Nolan Wells case, do you think that based on the evidence that's available right now, that the prosecution has enough evidence to warrant arrest? Are you there?
Yes, I do. I do believe that while I have not named the individuals that I think should be arrested, I do know that as a former judge in Mississippi, had a law enforcement official brought me one or more arrest warrants at this point, I would have signed it based on what the publicly known evidence available. I would feel comfortable in signing an arrest warrant or warrants at this time for various people.
What's the minimum evidence that's needed to sign an arrest warrant?
For a judge to sign an arrest warrant, there has to be probable cause, more likely than not that a crime has been committed. At the arrest warrant stage, to sign one, it does not have to be beyond a reasonable doubt. It only has to be probable cause, more likely than not that a crime has been committed. I laid out on my lives a litany of crimes that potentially have been committed by various individuals, and I would be comfortable in signing arrest warrants for those crimes, as well as if they piece together a puzzle, including the independent autopsy results that shows that the person, that Nolan Wells may have been hit in the back of the head, the audio tape, and then all the other video and audio footage that we've seen. You piece that together, it's more likely than not that a crime has been committed, up into including murder.
What about the phone being held and having the mother having to go retrieve the phone, the keys to his vehicle having to be retrieved by the father? This is after he was reported missing. And what about the scrubbing of the social media accounts, the fact that his phone has no media, no data on the phone, all of these things?
Yeah, all of those things are circumstantial evidence that when pieced together with the other things I've mentioned will make me comfortable in signing an arrest warrant or warrants. I do believe that it's more probable than not, more likely than not, that a crime or crimes has been committed related to the disappearance and the death of Nolan Wells. And so you add all that together. I mean, people have acted very suspicious, and there's no reason that the phone and the car keys should not have been voluntarily turned over without the parents even having to go search for it, look for it. And so we do know that a lot of the other young people had photos and videos from July the 4th, the event on the Horn Island. So for nothing to be in Nolan Wells' phone is very suspicious. Deactivating Facebook accounts, social media accounts, scrubbing accounts, that's all very suspicious, and will lead, should have led law enforcement by this point to go to a judge and seek some arrest warrants.
Have you had an opportunity to listen to the audio from the boat call? Have you had an opportunity to listen to the audio from the boat call?
I've listened to it, but not carefully. So I would love to listen to it again, but I have not listened to it carefully or the enhanced version.
Yeah. Janetta Brantley, she enhanced it. Yeah. And I'm telling you, that audio is clear as day. Some of the things that you can hear already, even without the cleanup, you can hear them yelling his name. You hear somebody yelling out Bart. You hear, is he dead? You can hear all of that without the audio being clean. But when Janetta Brantley cleaned that audio up, oh, it's crystal clear, and we can hear some other things in there now. So my thing is, if they say, well, you know, they haven't been able to explain the audio piece at all. It's almost like a lot of people in the media don't even talk about that audio at all. My thing is this: if Nolan Wells was left, to go and hang out with some girl or whatever, and y'all took off without Nolan Wells, and he was alive, well, why is there audio of the phone call with Nolan Wells, with Nolan's name being yelled out in relation to death? Is he dead? Oh my God, Nolan! What is this? Are they reenacting something, or did Nolan make some type of television, some type of film before he died? Where he died in the film or something? Like what? Did we hear was that audio from a film or something, or was that friends talking about a friend or alleged friend who was actually on that boat dead?
Yeah, that Cito call was very, very interesting. First of all, it was interesting to me as a former judge, a former prosecutor in Mississippi. I'm not licensed in Tennessee, but it's just very puzzling to me that someone would call Cito if they were actually sinking. I would call 911 or the Coast Guard or somebody more immediate to come save my life potentially, and not Cito. That's not the right number and a membership number he was talking about. He couldn't remember, or a name and all of that. That's very strange if you're sinking. And then the questions that the lady asked him, he could barely answer them. And it was just very suspicious. And then you listen to the cleaned up version, he didn't know, I guess whoever did not know that the phone started recording before he started speaking. And so to hear all of that commotion, you piece all that together, you would think that Nolan was actually on that boat, dead or alive.
Yeah. That Cito call, that really did it. That, if not for that right there, then we're like almost like on a wild goose chase, still on a wild goose chase. But that Cito call narrowed, the search. It narrowed. It got us really close, a lot closer to the answers. I've been noticing that a lot of people that have been speaking on this case, especially a lot of the experts, have been receiving threats and stuff like that. Have you had anybody trying to threaten you because of your stance about this?
No, thankfully I have not had any death threats because of what I've spoken. I've spoken truth to power, just told the process that would normally exist as it existed when I was on the bench for 6.5 years. And so I just spoke from a person's personal experience, having been there and done that. This is very abnormal. It's not the norm. And so I've simply told what I know to be the truth. Yeah.
Can probable cause exist without knowing exactly how somebody died?
It can. You can. I know just last year, I believe there was a trial of a young man in North Mississippi. At one point, they tried him without even finding the body. So they could have known exactly the cause of death because they didn't even have a body initially, and they went through a whole trial. So you don't have to know the exact cause of death. The person was just missing, and you piece things together digitally, and you could presume that he was dead. And that was the Jay Lee case in northern Mississippi. So if you can do all of that without a body, surely you can make some arrests, and you don't have to wait on an autopsy. You can't do an autopsy of a body you never found. So they went through a whole criminal trial without a body. They pieced together and presumed the guy dead and did what they had to do. So in this instance, you actually have a body, and there has been not one but two autopsies. But I believe there's enough there, even without the autopsy, to know that something is amiss.
Yeah, you've served the people of Mississippi in the judicial system, so you know Mississippi judicial system very well. How normal is it for the prosecution to have this much evidence, circumstantial or otherwise, and not have made an arrest at this point?
I cannot reiterate enough how abnormal this is. We do know if the roles had been reversed within the first 24 to 48 hours, had 3 black guys come back and Nolan had been white and left there for dead, those 3 black guys would have long been arrested. And that's not something I'm imagining. That's something I can state with 99.9% accuracy. That would have been arrest way sooner than now.
Yeah. And how much weight does those inconsistency stories, like when people have inconsistent stories, inconsistent statements that they give, how much does that weigh on the prosecution?
Yeah, you never have to make up the truth, and you never forget the truth. But when you are, you tell one lie, you have to tell another one to cover for that one. So we've known of the inconsistencies from the very beginning. Katie has always stated that he told her that he was going to leave with the friends he came with, and another group of guys said that he stayed on the island with Katie. So if you believe the audio footage, you're likely not Katie versus anyone else. And so why did the other group of guys potentially lie or say something different from Katie? So that is problematic, and it's going to remain problematic if that audio is correct. And the audio is released by a governmental agency. We believe it is not AI. We believe it's real and legit, and that is going to speak volumes. And so it appears that Nolan was on that boat. And they ended, I think, even when the lady asked how many folks living on the boat, whoever answered replied said 7 people. So who are the 7 people? Those people should be those people will be of interest at this point, you believe.
Yeah, actually, he said like 7. Like
7.
I don't know how you say like 7 people. Like you're right there. It's a small boat. You can see everybody on the boat. Yeah,
it's like 6 are certainly alive, and then one of them is we're not certain if he's alive. It's like 7, but it may be 6 because we're not certain if one is dead or alive. Yeah.
Boom. Yeah. Can deleting evidence, or changing your stories establish probable cause?
I don't know that it establishes probable cause in and of itself, but you piece it together with the other things. I believe it would lead a judge like myself to sign an arrest warrant for certain crimes.
Yeah. So do you expect investigators to make an arrest in this case?
That's a good question. Under normal circumstances, I would expect an arrest to be made, but it seems that the district attorney has stated that she's going to present everything to a grand jury, which she is hoping, I believe, to give her cover or to give her to back up her stance. So if she gets a true bill, I believe there will be arrests made. If she gets a no true bill, she would say that the grand jury found no probable cause to indict, and so there won't be an arrest. But we know that had the roles been reversed, they would not have waited on a grand jury. You don't have to wait on a grand jury to get arrest or an indictment. You can go ahead and make arrest as soon as the judge finds probable cause, and that's what should have been done in this case. And so I'm still praying and hoping that the grand jury does the right thing. If there's a right presentation to the grand jury, I don't see why the grand jury would not indict if they evaluated the evidence as I have done it carefully. It should lead to only one conclusion, that it's more likely than not that a crime has been committed, and indict one or more individuals for one or more crimes.
Yeah. Couldn't the DA had also assembled a special grand jury to take a look at this case? they don't have to, like you say, they don't have to wait on a grand jury to indict.
Yeah, I don't see why a special grand jury or any grand jury would have to be convened just to make an arrest. That's not normal procedure. You have to have a grand jury for indictments, but I mean, you could have an arrest as soon as the judge had enough evidence presented to him to sign an arrest warrant. And as I stated, with 6.5 years, I didn't have to wait on indictments. Once a law enforcement agent brought me an arrest warrant and brought me something signed, an affidavit format, I could review it. I could either sign the arrest warrant or refuse to sign it based on whether or not I felt that there was probable cause. It takes one man or woman that wears a black robe to sign an arrest warrant. And they have to just find probable cause. And if they find it, they sign the arrest warrant and the person is usually immediately picked up.
Let's say an arrest doesn't come soon. Does that strengthen or weaken the prosecution's case?
If an arrest does not come soon, I think it definitely does not strengthen it. It may weaken it if an arrest does not come soon, but it may not have any effect on what the grand jury does. But what's going to have an effect on the grand jury is how well the prosecution presents the case to the grand jury, because you can indict a ham sandwich, but if you don't want to get an indictment, you won't get one. But if you want to get one, normally 9 times out of 10, you're going to get an indictment.
Yeah. So having worked in Mississippi, and you know the system well, how often did you get like backlash for being what I would say considered fair and impartial when dealing with situations that involve black and white people? You got black people on one side, white people on the other side. How contentious was it? I mean, was that always an elephant in the room, or you were able to just go ahead and administer justice the way justice is supposed to be done, and you didn't get any outside backlash? You were able to run your courtroom like you wanted to?
Yeah, I basically ran my courtroom like I wanted to, and I didn't really get backlash for that. Now, I did get backlash when I took the Mississippi flag that bore the Confederate emblem out of my courtroom. My first order of business as a judge was to have the bailiff to remove the state flag that then bore the Confederate emblem. So I never administered justice in front of such a despicable flag. So I did get about 3 death threats because I removed the state flag from my courtroom. But other than that, my basic rulings, no one really challenged those. Those were pretty sound in the law, and no matter which race I was adjudicating, no one really challenged it.
Yeah. What do you think about the idea that when you look at the way that black judges go about doing business and administering justice versus the way that white judges go about administering justice? Typically, if you go into a courthouse, you go into a courtroom, and the white judge makes his decisions, and it's just the judge making a decision. But when a black judge makes decisions, it seems like that it's under scrutiny all the time, as if it's like the white judges get the benefit of doubt that they can be fair and impartial. But I see it a lot that black judges don't always get that same consideration.
I would say that growing up in Mississippi, we were taught we have to be not just as good, but twice as good to get half the respect. And so we will be second guessed. And so we have to dot every I and cross every T. And if there is perhaps an I that was not dotted or a T that was not crossed, we will be held, our feet will be held to the fire, versus someone that may not look like us. They may be given a slap on the wrist or no slap at all for the same negligent act, not dotting every I, crossing every T. Nothing major, but they will get the benefit of the doubt and not be held to the same standard a lot of times. But a black judge in Mississippi will be heavily scrutinized, and if there is a chance to discipline the black judge will be usually more heavily disciplined than a white judge.
Yeah. How much pressure is it to sit there, man, and be in judgment of someone who the establishment feels should get a break, and you say, no, 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 this person got to go to jail. This person need to go to prison.
I didn't put anyone in prison. I could only put someone in jail for up to a year. So I was a municipal judge, so I didn't have to worry about sending anyone to prison. But in instances where I had to incarcerate someone, I just followed the law. I felt that they needed to be incarcerated, incarcerated. I did it no matter what. It wasn't pressure to me. I just did the right thing, what the law required. If I wanted to extend mercy, I extended mercy across the board to whoever I wanted to extend it to, black, white, yellow, or red.
Right, right. And that's how it should be. That's how it should be. And it's a shame that it's not that way. It's almost like, how things were when Obama first got in office. It's like Obama got in office and it's like, oh, y'all voted for Obama just because he's black. But then before that, it was all white presidents, and black people never told white people, you're only voting for him because he's white. It's just the double standard, man. It's just, what do they call it? They talk about fatigue, certain fatigue. We got our own fatigue around here. But hey, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. You got any parting words?
I don't. We continue to pray for the Wells and Ones, the families, that they get justice in this instance. We're going to continue to say Nolan Xavier Wells' name. He deserved to live a long life. He'll be forever 18, but he deserved to turn 19, 20, 25, 35, 45, 55, 65, 75 and live a normal life. This life was cut short, and we are taking his black life seriously, and we are expecting Mississippi to do the right thing in this instance. And if they don't, we expect the federal government to do the right thing and get justice for this family.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Ladies and gentlemen, Judge Carlos Moore. Thank you for coming on the show. Okay, fam, we're going to keep it going. We'll keep it going. Let me go into the comments and see what y'all saying. Larry Miller, what up? Buckhorse DC, turn your cap lock off, player. You know better than that. Mr. P, what it do? Rhea, I see you. Mississippi, make it right. Yeah, right. Mississippi, boy. They're not even ashamed either, fam. They don't even care. Like, they don't even care about being uncivilized. They take pride in it. They take pride in being backwards. They take pride in the fact that the rest of the country is moving forward. Well, no, not the rest of the country. Some parts of the country are moving forward. They take pride in being stuck. The reason why this can't work the way they're trying to make it work is because it would set a dangerous precedent. It's like, we can be suspicious and we can not talk, and we can scrub our social media accounts. We can act very, very suspicious, but we can act suspicious, but you cannot call us out for acting suspicious. You cannot recognize that we are acting suspicious, because if you say something about us acting suspicious, we're going to sick our lawyers on you. And that is when everybody should say, come on with it, mother, because everybody got lawyers. Okay, you got a lawyer, I got a lawyer. What now what? I got lawyers, now what's up? So the whole idea right now is to intimidate the content creators. Intimidate content creators, intimidate the experts, intimidate journalists, reporters. A lot of reporters already, especially in the mainstream, they were already not in support of Nolan Wells already. They were already trying to lift these other dudes up. They were already, especially ABC and TMZ. Oh man, but all of them though, all of them. I'm saying ABC and TMZ because a lot of black folks, have been supportive of those outlets. But man, the bias that they're showing right now is sad. It's sickening. And You can't let them get away with it, because if we do it, if we allow them to get away with this, this is going to become the norm. And that's what they're trying to make it. They're trying to make it, they're trying to normalize our trauma. It's like, yeah, we did it. Yeah, or yeah. So what? So what if it happened? You don't get to complain about it. You don't get to say anything about it. They want you to suffer in silence. So we can't allow that, man. We can't let that slide. We can't let that slide. I got me an uncivilized mutt that I just blocked. The block party is officially open. And here's the thing, fam. If the people that are speaking in support of Nolan Wells is so bad, why does the uncivilized mutt seem so? Why when they complain about it, why do they actually seem like the bad people? Why do they sound so evil and wicked? You know, the language that they use, they have zero manners, which makes you think that if they're talking like that, perhaps maybe they got something to do with it. If I'm innocent and people are advocating for me, and I'm talking about being positive and not being divisive, I don't want nobody who's talking negative and being divisive speaking on my behalf. But you don't hear them stepping up and saying, stop attacking Nolan Wells' mama. Not one of his friends or parents that I know of has stood up and said, stop attacking his mother and father. Stop attacking them. I haven't heard any members of law enforcement give out a mandate for people to stop. They have not demanded that people not harass the parents, or else they have not issued those demands. Why is that? Simple question. Why is that? But they have done that for the other side, which lets you know what side they're on. Justice is supposed to be for everybody. I mean, after all, we all share this space, right? We all live here. We all pay taxes, right? We're all supposed to do our part to make the country great, right? To be good citizens, you know, good neighbors, and, you know, good people in society. We're all supposed to, you know, do our part, right? So you want us to do our part, but not have equal representation and equal rights under the law. But you still want us to do our part, right? That's how I go. Nah, I'll pass. Don't work like that. So yeah, we see what's going on. We see the play. It's create chaos and play the victim. Classic move. Create chaos and play the victim. There's something going on right now with these so-called friends of Nolan Wells. They have implemented, and not just his friends, but even members of law enforcement and Mississippi officials in Mississippi. Right now, the whole state of Mississippi, but especially the town of Ocean Springs, they are right now, they've implemented this strategy called DARVO. DARVO is an acronym for Deny, Attack, and Reverse Victim and Offender. It was coined by psychologist Jennifer Joy Fraud in the 1990s. It describes how a person who is confronted about bad behavior turns the situation around to blame the actual victim. Did you hear what I said? This is simple, fam. It's a simple tactic that they have been using forever. But most recently, in all of these police and civilian killings of Black people by people outside of the Black community, it's called DARVO. deny, attack, reverse the victim and the offender. So you replace the victim with the offender, and you move the offender into the victim's position, and you move the victim into the offender position. And then you get a person who is confronted about bad behavior, who turns the situation around to blame the actual victim. So let me break it down for you. Deny. The offender says the bad action or event never happened, or they minimize what they did. Does this sound familiar, fam? I want y'all to think about the Nolan Wells case right now. The offender says the bad action or event never happened, or they minimize what they did. Attack. The offender attacks the person who is calling them out, questioning their truthfulness, memory, or mental state. Reverse victim and offender. The offender claims they are the real victim, making the person who was harmed look like the aggressor. I'll give you some common examples. That never happened. You're making things up. You are crazy, toxic, and always trying to start a fight. They're coming over here making trouble. We're a close-knit community. We don't need outsiders coming over here trying to stir up trouble. I can't believe that you would accuse me of something like this. You are abusing me with all of these lies. Some of us have people in our lives right now who practice Darvo. They'll do you dirty and then gaslight you to make you think you tripping, like you did something to them. They turn themselves into the victim. They will create chaos and play the victim. You know who does that really well? Your president. This dude creates chaos. And when somebody calls him out on it, you ain't got to call him out. You can just repeat that. You can repeat his actions, exactly what he did, and he'll threaten to sue you. Oh, that's defamation of character. The idea is to scare people into silence. And then while he's doing that, while he's suing you, he got his minions making threats. So they're trying to hit you from all angles, hoping that they beat you down so badly that you'll go running scared. You'll tuck your tail and go into hiding. This is why evil runs America. Because, see, the evil people are willing to go to any extent to get what they want. Good people are not. Good people got to get used to learning how to fight and win. They got to get used to knowing how to fight and win. And you got to get used, you got to give yourself permission to do whatever you got to do to take down the big, bad, evil wolf. That means if you got to step outside of your character to get the job done, and after you finish the job, get back on in, then that's what you do. That's really the only way I know how to survive, because I don't know how to go through life letting somebody push me around and bully me and try to scare me. I don't subscribe to that. I don't subscribe to that at all. You can't reason with the bully. The bully want all the chips. The bully want all the chips. The bully want everything. If you try to reason with the bully and say, hey, no, that's not fair. You know, I did this and you did this, and, you know, let's treat each other nice. The bully gonna Get your ass out of here. Bow. Get up out of here. That's what the bully do. The bully want it all. And the bully will keep, and you think that if you capitulate to just a little bit for the bully, that the bully will go away. No, the bully knows it's sweet over here. He knows, oh, it's sweet over there. They scared of me. So now I'm going to go back and get a little bit more. Now I'm going to go back and get a little bit more. Now I'm going to go back and get a little bit more. Same thing with killing black folks. The rest of the blacks who might have some ideas, they know what's going on. They hear something, they see something, but they won't say anything because they're scared. They think the bully is just going to stop right there. No, you next. So you might as well join together and take the bully down. Take him out. You'll get further with a closed fist than you do one finger. It's a whole lot easier to break this one finger than it is to break this fist. Being afraid ain't never gonna get you no peace. I'm telling you, being afraid ain't never gonna get you nowhere in life. I don't even know how a man can be afraid. I'm talking about, okay, you may be afraid for a minute, but then you got to do something to be unafraid, right? You can't just live afraid, right? Maybe you're scared of something, but now you gotta overcome that fear. And you got to do something about it. You got whatever that is that's causing you to be fearful, you got to do something to eliminate that fear. Whatever that fear is, you got to do something to eliminate it. I don't know how you live, how you go to sleep with fear and wake up with fear. I don't know how to do that. These people, these are human beings, fam. Wicked, but human beings. That means they got an expiration date, just like you. That means when it gets cold, they're going to need some type of covers, or they going to freeze. That means that when it gets too hot, they're going to have to put on something cool. They're going to have to get somewhere cool. They're going to have a heat stroke. That means if somebody punctures their skin, they're going to bleed. If something punctures their skin, they're going to bleed. That means they need oxygen. Now, if somebody was around here, walking around here who didn't need oxygen to live, I'd be like, ooh, that's a bad boy. I don't want no parts of that. I ain't messing with him. He don't even need, hold on. Call me another one. Call me another uncivilized mutt. Boom. Banned. Yeah, so anyway, if they got to have oxygen to breathe, to live, scared? So hold on, so you trying to tell me that this big bad wolf don't walk through walls, can't walk through walls, he can't walk outside and pick up a dump truck over his head, he can't fly, his feet don't walk on water, and I'm supposed to be scared of him? Man, I don't care how much money he got. I don't care how many soldiers he got. I don't care how many people around, I don't care about none of that. Ain't gonna be no scary stuff going on. Ain't gonna be none of that. I'm telling you. That has never helped us. Our bravery, fear has never been our friend. Our bravery has been our friend. Our bravery has been our greatest ally. And our bravery don't just show up in defending ourselves. Our bravery shows up in our audacity to be great, our audacity to be resilient, our audacity to put the work in, to get up, get out there and go get something despite the odds. Yeah, they trying to spook everybody, trying to scare everybody. Mississippi officials are not doing themselves any justice by not protecting both sides. They're going out of their way to make sure that nobody's threatening the judge and the so-called friends. They're going out of their way to let it be known we will have none of that. But they won't do the same for the Wansley family. They won't do the same for them. And they won't do the same for their supporters. They're not saying anything to the uncivilized mutts who are making threats towards their supporters and content creators and journalists. They're not saying anything about going after them. This is why we don't trust you, Mississippi. We don't trust you. This is why people don't trust you. Because you're playing in our face with the biases. You're playing in our faces with it. So you want to be biased. You want to pick and choose who gets protected, but you still want us to respect you. You still want us to respect your position. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. I just had a former Mississippi judge on this show. So he knows the judicial system. He knows his way around the courtroom. Judge Carlos Moore knows more about Mississippi law than most Mississippians. And he definitely knows more about it than we do, who are on our side. And he said a couple of weeks ago that he had enough evidence that he would have issued an arrest warrant. He already said, yeah, I got it. That's enough evidence for me. Absolutely. Enough evidence. So they think we're supposed to just ignore that. Well, the judge did say there's enough evidence. If it was him, if he was in that seat, he would issue an arrest warrant. But we can't repeat it because if we say it, if we repeat what he say, they're going to come get us. They're going to come after us. They're going to send us a letter. And that letter going to be threatening. They're going to try to hit us with a lawsuit. Well, when they made one lawsuit, they made more than they made another one. When they made one lawyer, they made another lawyer, and then another lawyer, then another lawyer. All the content creators need to band together. Everybody need to band together and have everybody back. All of the experts need to band together and have each other back. All of the journalists need to band together and have every journalist back, because I'm going to tell you something. If they can quiet one journalist, they can quiet all of them. So y'all think about that. I want to hear from the journalists that they're trying to quiet. I'm not interested in the ones that they're not saying anything about. Because the ones that they're trying to quiet, those are the ones who are being truthful. I want to hear from the ones that they're mad about. I want to hear from the journalists who are raising hell, who are asking the hard questions. The ones that ain't talking about nothing, the ones that are just yapping, ain't making sense, they're not worried about that because they can easily dismiss them. Yeah, you crazy. That's nothing. But the ones who are speaking truth to power, excuse me, the ones who are speaking truth to power, those are the ones. Those are the ones they want to quiet. The people who are getting closer to the truth, who are asking for the truth, those are the ones they want to quiet. Those are the ones they're trying to threaten. And I'm telling y'all, you ain't gonna get nowhere being docile. You ain't gonna get nowhere being meek and weak. You gotta stand up like a peacock and spread your wings and be like, they want to waste money, let them waste their money. But make sure you file that countersuit and make that lawyer come out his pocket. Or make them give up that give, send, go fund. Make them deplete those funds. And make them give it up. Make that judgment come back all the way back around. Make them have to come off that money. They're probably gonna take that give, send, go fund and go buy some clothes or cars or something. From what I understand, the parents got some bread, so maybe you get to dig into the parents' pockets. But y'all ain't gonna be able to get past that phone call. Yeah, we ain't gonna stop talking about that phone call. We heard what we heard, and that's all we heard. That's my time, fam. Appreciate y'all joining live. Until next time, enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. No more talk.